Everyone, welcome to yet another video series of engineering economics and cost analysis. In the last video, a couple of videos, we are discussing about the different types of costing approaches. So in the previous video, you had have learned about the traditional costing approaches. There are two types of costing approaches. One is the traditional costing approach, the other one is activities based costing approach. So in the previous video, we have discussed about the traditional costing approach. So we have discussed about how the traditional costing method works. The traditional costing method includes indirect cost. So we will calculate direct cost, indirect cost, and find the cost driver, and then calculate the overhead rate, and finally allocate the indirect cost to each and every product, and then calculate the total cost. So this is how the traditional costing method will function. It is less expensive, but certain non-volume related cost drivers will not be accounted. So that is one drawback of traditional costing method. And also it is time consuming more than the more sophisticated costing methods also, but it is very less expensive, cheaper, very simple to implement, and very easy to understand and all. And also it is very suitable for small business only, or to those business which has simple production processes. For a larger business, for larger firms, this traditional costing method is become inapplicable or ineffective. So we are in need of a new costing approach where it fits to a larger firm, and also that yields greater accuracy in predicting the cost. So there comes the activity based costing approach. So activity based costing is a method wherein which we allocate cost to the activities involved in the productions. So in general we have different activities in producing a product, like productions, and then quality checking, and then packaging. So we can split it into different activities. Like, so first sum up all the activities and then calculate the cost incurred for those activities, then add up those together, then you will get the total cost. In general, that is what activity based costing approach. So from the name itself you can easily understand what is maybe activity based costing. So first we allocate cost to each and every activities that are involved in the production process, and then sum up, adding all together, you will get the total cost. So it can be defined as a system of costing that recognizes activities involved in producing a product, and then traces the cost incurred in performing each activity. So this ABC, which is activity based costing, consists of two stages of the cost of the product. In the first stage, the cost is assigned to the production activities, and then in the final stage the cost is allocated to the final products. So it follows the approach of accumulated activity related costing. So the activity considered for estimation of cost should be any task or activity undertaken for the production of any product or delivering any services. So this ABC follows concept that products consume activities and the activities consume resources. So this ABC can be used by any manufacturing or service delivery firm that wants easy cost accounting. So this ABC is a very effective approach. It is costlier to implement. The main drawback of ABC is it is expensive compared to traditional costing method, which is less expensive as mentioned, but it is time consuming. But activity based costing is less time consuming because we first identify the activities and then we allocate the cost. But in traditional costing approaches, we will not identify the cost, but wherein which we will identify the indirect cost, which is a tedious process, and that is why it is time consuming. But whereas activity based costing is less time consuming, and it is very operative. It can be used for any kind of firms, either it is small or very big, or whatever Irrespective of the size of the plant, we can implement these kind of approach to any films, any product or service based films, irrespective of its size, but it is quite expensive. So I hope in this video you have a clear idea about what is activity based costing. So in the next video we will see a comparison between these two costing approaches. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Happy learning.